Hi everyone, it is Friday the 17th of November, and this is my blog update. Again, I'm really mindful that I've promised you a blog update following the results of my transplant assessment. And again, forgive me for the delay. Again, similar sort of reason, it's kind of the knock-on effect of that and kind of life and everything else going on. That has meant that it's only now I'm kind of getting round to actually putting this on video for you, or for me, for whoever. So in the last couple of days, I have had a slight challenge in the sense that I was spiking temperatures at the weekend, and it transpires I picked up another virus, and very quickly it's gone straight onto my lungs. So as a consequence, I was back at Brompton again on Monday, and we've started a course of intravenous antibiotics on the Tuesday. And again, because Brompton is so amazing, and because I've got such amazing support with Mum and Daniele, instead of me going into hospital, which obviously I would ordinarily need to do just because of the level of kind of support, I suppose, that I need at the moment. Instead of that, Mum, I've come to Wales at short notice, and I'm going to be here for a little while, to help me through the course. So that's kind of been a bit of a kind of another thing to kind of deal with, in terms of getting stuff done. So, as you will know from my most recent blog update, I was expecting a phone call from Harefield as a follow-up from the conclusion of my transplant assessment the previous week. Again, as I've mentioned previously, I've spent that week, I put loads of stuff in the diary, lots of things to kind of occupy my mind, really to distract me from, thinking too much about what might be said in the phone call. So as it happens, they actually rang me on Thursday morning, which completely I wasn't in my head prepared for, and I was on my own. So the phone call basically went as thus. Essentially, it's great news. It's all really positive news. The positive news is that there were no reasons in any of my tests why I couldn't be a recipient, potentially, of an organ donor. Yes, of an organ donor. So that, of course, is amazing in the sense that it gives me options. 2, what I was hoping for was that they would say that the tests and everything that we'd done the previous week showed that I had improved or at least stabilised to such an extent that actually it might be too early for me to be actively listed. And if I'm really honest with you, in my heart of hearts, I really thought it was too early. I thought they would say to me that maybe you've got a little bit more time before you really need to go on the list. So that was my expectation. And so I think maybe in part why it's also taken me a little while to kind of update my blog with this is to process the fact that they've actually said to me, we think you should be going on the list kind of imminently, because actually you haven't got necessarily, we can't guarantee that you have got the time, to kind of play with. They're very strong on, or my experience has been that they are very strong on, there is an ideal window of time with which we would want the, if I was to be listed, the call to take place. So therefore it's the window of time where I'm at my fittest to recover from the surgery, because obviously the surgery itself is major, and that the rest of my body is kind of fit and everything, in terms of moving forward. It makes the surgery much more complicated the more unwell you get, because you get much more complications in terms of, you know, the latter stages of lung disease in CF. So all that in mind, you know, it's a lot of stuff to process. But I'm at a place now where I'm so grateful to my consultant at Brompton, Nick, who, even though I'm very good at putting on a smile, putting on my makeup, and having a very positive attitude, he's actually seen through that actually my situation is what my tests have come back as, which is fundamentally my lungs are not working properly and they are deteriorating at a rate that ultimately means that, you know, I'm within the catchment zone that, you know, how much longer are my lungs going to actually cope? And certainly if I was to get another infection of the scale that I've had over the past year, you know, how much more buffer zone have I really got? So I'm very, very grateful to Nick, my consultant at Brompton, because he has seen through, you know, me looking amazingly well and being amazingly well and, you know, kind of having that attitude. So I'm so grateful. So it's a very positive situation. What I have said to Harefield at this stage is that I would like to have Christmas and New Year with my family and to kind of get my life in order. Not that it wasn't in order, but you know what I mean. I would like some time. Who knows if I've got the time to play with, but it feels right to me to have Christmas and New Year, and then actively go on the list in January. When I have got some boxes ticked, some experiences had with my family that once you're on the list, your life, you know, my life is going to change a little bit in terms of, you know, once I'm actively listed, I could get a phone call at any moment, and I, you know, your life potentially, that's when, you know, if the call went ahead, you know, I have to be prepared for that. So, and I think also you have to be mentally ready to go on the list, because ultimately if you get that call, you know, I need to be in a mental place where actually I wholeheartedly would commit to that and want to go through with the surgery and potentially the opportunity for a set of lungs. And if I'm honest, I'm not quite there. I'm like 98% there. But I know that in January, kind of, I will have had the time to tick some boxes and to be in that place, as I say, to commit to that's my next step and that's the right thing for me. What I would also say at this stage, though, is I'm not giving up hope that I will, with my continued exercise and my continued lifestyle and everything that I'm doing, I'm not giving up the hope that I couldn't somehow still stabilise. And they have told me there have been times where people actually have had a really good period of time whilst they've been listed, and they could maybe even kind of come off the list again. So this is not absolutely in stone, you know, once you sign on the dotted line kind of thing, that if a call came I had to take it as such. I don't know if I'm making sense, but there is some level of manoeuvrability moving forward, even when I go listed. But ultimately, I've got to go for worst case scenario, and that's kind of where I am. So I am staying in Wales. Mum and Daniele are looking after me and just being amazing. That means I don't have to physically be in hospital any more than I absolutely need to be. And it means that I, you know, get to be with my dogs and have a significantly better quality of life being here than being in hospital. So so that's kind of that is my update. I'm sorry it's a bit rambly, but really that's the best I can do. I'm kind of on day 3 of IV antibiotics and they make me a bit ugh. So again, as always, I just want to thank everyone for caring enough that they're messaging me all and asking me, how I got on with transplant assessment. So I hope that's answered the questions and I haven't rambled too much. So I will continue to update you all, and I just want to send you all my love and thanks. Bye. Ta-da.